chickadees. It is Monday. Oh my goodness. Some of you may have just seen me with the fantastic Michael Bryant on Justice Served TV, where we were talking all things Brian Walsh. But we are now going to talk about all the Major League Baseball scandal because I have the lovely and delightful Lauren Conlin that I'll be bringing on. Before I do that, please make sure if you haven't liked, haven't subscribed, do that now. If you're replay crew, thank you so much for watching on the replay. Drop me a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. All right, everybody, I'm going to bring Lauren on because she's got limited time and we got a lot to cover.
Thank you so much. Hi, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. I'm absolutely so excited to hear all about this. I know nothing about this case, so do tell.
Oh, and we're talking about the Major League Baseball
case.
Annual Class A, Luis Ortiz, and I'm so mad because unfortunately there is a status hearing tomorrow for both of them in the Eastern District of New York, and I have to miss it for Luigi Mangione. I'm upset because I am tracking that case very closely, but essentially it's kind of like the easiest cheating you could do in sports. It's kind of right, allegedly. But if you're a pitcher, you've got that type of control where, you know, the illegal prop betting, which is basically when people they bet on individual players. These guys, they have control there. So the whole case I find to be fascinating, but also devastating because these guys are super young, in their 20s. And if the allegations are true, where they actually threw pitches in order to, you know, get a cut of money from these guys, these bettors in the Dominican Republic, then this is bad. This is very bad. And
is that what it is?
Yeah, they'll never play baseball again professionally.
Well, I think that,
yeah. So one of the guys, it was Emmanuel Class A. Sorry, Class A. He had has a contract. It was $10 million for you know the first year, and then I think it was $12 million, and then $13 million that he signed on for. I mean, that's gone. Even if he were to take a plea deal and let's say, you know, get away with 18 months of jail time or something, it's like
he's done.
Yeah, that sucks. Like that's.
Do they not know who Pete Rose is? Hello.
Yeah, it's bad. So I think that between, you know, the MLB, the NBA, it's not looking great for these guys with.
Well, I got to tell you, I have a lot of questions on the officiating in the NFL. So I'm waiting with bated breath because I think there's a scandal about to drop in that organization.
Oh my gosh. I'm like kind of praying there isn't because I'm so tired.
No, it'll be after the season's over.
Girl, every time I see an arrest, I'm like, why? Like literally.
I know.
It's sorry, that was selfish of me. But also not because don't get arrested. Don't do bad stuff.
Don't make good choices. I say it all the time. Make good choices. It's not hard.
Exactly. So you know, I'm going to request the transcript tomorrow. I wish there was more of me so I could be there, but I'll get the transcript. I'll most likely report on that for Wednesday because there's no court for Luigi on Wednesday. And then NBA, there's not another for the Chauncey Billups indictment, which is with the mafia and the rigged poker games and stuff, allegedly.
It's called organized crime.
Yes, exactly.
My husband's a former New Yorker. Trust me, I know.
There you go. Yeah, there's not another hearing there until March of 2026. So we've got a ways to go with that. We'll see some filings. We'll see some evidence, I'm sure. A lot of it will be sealed. But there should be a hearing for the parallel indictment with Terry Rozier, and that's sort of based on the illegal prop betting. Yeah, and Jonte Porter as well. He actually was sort of intertwined with some of the guys on that indictment, but he already was convicted. He actually gets sentenced on the 10th, December 10th in the Eastern District. Yeah. And it's the same charges. It's like the conspiracy to commit money laundering and wire fraud.
Yeah, and I mean, sports is just popping off right now because, you know, I did a live stream. I guess was it just last week? I don't even remember when I did it recently. Antonio Brown Jr. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. And we did a lot of the deep dive on that. And I got to tell you, based on the video and what they're claiming in the probable cause affidavit, I'm not. These things are not matching for me.
I agree. It looks a little strange. I didn't see him really wrestle a gun. And his lawyer, Mark Eiglarsh, is amazing. He is such a good attorney. And Mark said, and I know it's his job. I'm not, I was born at night, but not last night. And he said he was using his own lawful gun in self-defense. So that's interesting. And if you look at the history of these two guys, the Antonio Brown's alleged victim, he was arrested. I think it was the Super Bowl last year for waving a Gaza flag and doing some other things like on the field. It was really confusing. And they have just this history where there was a civil lawsuit that was actually dropped between the two of them, where the alleged victim,
That's interesting.
yeah, he accused Antonio of stealing some jewelry. That never happened, I guess. Yeah.
Why would he steal jewelry? It's freaking Antonio Brown.
Well, this guy is a jeweler, and I guess he gave it to Antonio to borrow, and he claims
That's
Antonio,
different.
Yeah, didn't replace it. I know context helps, right? My brain's fried. I should probably provide context.
Totally got it.
So yeah, so it's like all these, they've got a history. So the self-defense aspect really works, but it's serious because in Florida, it's like if the prosecutors are alleging a gun was fired or was
it's a whole different
they add
level.
so much time on. I mean,
it's a whole different thing. The Ashley Benefield ballerina trial. That's exactly what happened in that one because she went wackadoodles and decided to use a gun, and it's like, honey, you just changed everything with whatever was happening in your life at that moment.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I was thinking of her exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And Patrick Beverly, I have not been following that one super closely. I've only just loosely and in the periphery have been following it. That's like a soup du jour. Every day there's like a new little seasoning or new flavor.
That one's weird to me. So when I was, sorry, I burped. I like shoved dinner down the hatch. I'm like,
I haven't even eaten yet.
Sorry.
So it's okay.
I know. I'm like, sorry. So no, that one was interesting to me because I learned as I was researching that Texas is one of the few states where if it's a felony that you're arrested or charged with, and this is a third-degree felony, it's automatically kicked over to a grand jury. So it looks like right now, and if people are not familiar with the case, it's alleged that Pat Beverly picked up his 15-year-old sister by the neck and choked her, carried her into another room, slammed her against the wall, threw her on the couch, punched her in the face. And the responding officer said he saw petechia in her eye and marks on her neck, whatever. And this is all because her boyfriend, she snuck out to see her boyfriend. And that was the other rumor. He and his lawyer said the boyfriend was 18. They caught him at the house.
Yeah, there was some.
Yeah, not the case. The boyfriend's 17. And she snuck out, and the mom called him over and said, come over, and then called Beverly. Yeah. So I recently pulled a filing, and I did a story on it where his defense team and his PI is asking the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office for 3 separate incidents, reports of 3 separate incidents at the home. One is the arrest, and then the other 2 are in 2024. We don't know what they are, but he wants them maybe to change a narrative, maybe to I have no idea what's happening there.
That might be one I'll have to follow because that sounds I do like to do cases that have what I call tentacles, that it's like
totally.
It's just one thing, and then you're like, oh, but then there's this, and there's another case in Texas that I'm following because I think there is going to be possibly some financial crime issues that end up coming to light there as well. And so, it was suggested by one of my followers, and when I started looking into it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I like the ones too that just don't seem like what we think they're going to be, and I think that's why I was sort of drawn to the Beverly case. And I'm like a secret Barstool fan. So, I was listening to the Unnamed show and I was listening live, and I heard Dave Portnoy say, Pat Beverly has taken some forced time off. And I was like,
Yes.
there you go. That's the smart thing to do there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And I thought maybe I saw something at some point that were you loosely following anything in Tennessee with the Grant Solomon and Angeli? How do you say
yeah,
her?
I actually, that's how I got into crime. I have
Is it really?
I have a whole podcast, probably three seasons on that case.
Oh, shut up. I didn't even know that.
It's okay. It's was my first. It's very rough, I would say, at the beginning. I'm proud of the work I did towards the end. That was a case, again, where I learned a lot of lessons. I had to take a step back for my own personal, and then I was actually driving back from like the Hamptons whodunit last year, and a bunch of I'll call them friends. I'm not even gonna call them sources anymore, but a bunch of my now friends in Tennessee, they were like, "Did you hear about Angie?" And I was like, "No." And sure enough, I was like, "Man, oh man,
I mean, you can't justify it, but at the same time, good grief. And I lived in Tennessee when that happened, lived in just south of Nashville. And, I watched Aaron Solomon every night on the news. And then all of a sudden, so for me, it's like a completely surreal situation. And I also did a live stream that we did a deep dive into what happened with Grant and crime. I say crime scene. They never considered it a crime scene, but the scene photographs and
it was an accident. Yeah.
Everybody agrees it doesn't look like an accident.
Well, and regardless of what it was, if it's a fatality and a fatal accident, you don't close it up within 57 minutes. You don't.
Well,
you just
especially
don't do
because
that.
it was kind of unattended.
No,
nobody was there to say what happened. So, I mean, everything about it is a little crazy to me. So that was one I will continue to follow and see if anything comes of it. I feel very badly for Angie as a mom. I can totally identify with how she feels, especially when all the ugliness came out about what was happening with her daughter. And
it's definitely it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. And, without getting into the weeds too much, recently people are like, can you please do an update? Because I did do a couple updates when Angie first got arrested. Right now, there's not enough time in the day and I'm already kind of pushing myself, but I would like to focus on that soon. Aaron has been silent up until now. I've been listening to him on a couple podcasts, and again, I'm trying not to drag myself back into it. And he's not on trial, right? Fine, he's not on trial.
Of course not.
Podcast, and because I study this case and I know everything like the back of my hand, I can recite his initial police statement. I can recite the 911 call, all of it. So when he's on this podcast saying what happened, I was like, that's not what you said happened. That's not what you told police.
Well,
I'm saying to myself, but I'm like, that's not what you said. And I know it's been a long time and you're not on trial and you're talking to somebody and you're grieving. And I get that. So I'm not trying to be that person. And that's my issue where how does that make me look if I just hop on my mic? Sorry. I'm jerking around, hop on my mic. And I'm like, well, he said this and then because, I think about this and sorry to go off on a tangent, but it's with the Anna Kepner case, right? Her parents, they seem like pieces of shit, right? Fine. But they also lost a child. And it is alarming to me sometimes that the internet, we just decide, and I'm saying we, because I've been guilty of it too. I'm not perfect. We just jump on these people. We assume we know everything. And they're already dealing with a huge tragedy and a huge loss. So
I did a live stream on the Anna Cat. Well, it was kind of like a whole bunch of different things. Lauren Katie came on and we talked. That was one of the things we talked about. And I didn't know a lot. And so we just did it live. I'm like, well, let's dig and get some information and find out because I don't like to say things that are incorrect. I am not a journalist. My subscribers and everyone on my channel, we are jurors. I am the jury foreman, and we look at it from that perspective. I feel like I'm a little more educated about the law because I have watched so many trials. So I feel like, I know a little bit more. But at the same time, her parents, her family has done some kind of icky stuff. And that's what I was going to say about Aaron Solomon is he even lost his job he was with WSMV, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And he lost his job there under kind of shady circumstances. So when you start adding the things up, if it walks like a duck and acts like a duck, it's probably a duck.
I know it's true. And I think I'm with you. Like, I am so with you. I always felt strange about Sebastian Rogers' parents. I get weird. And like
Summer Wells.
Yeah, totally. But with Anna, I just say that because it's so new. And yes, we are reading certain things in court docs, and we're seeing this and we're seeing that. And I'm just like, okay, I'm with you. They don't seem like great people. They don't seem like great parents. And I just feel like a lot of the time, many parents out there, they'll know if you do the best you can, right?
Absolutely. You don't get a manual.
Right. Yes. You do the best you can. Again, I'm not sticking up for anything they've done or any decisions they've made. I put myself in, I think, what was that show? Did you watch that show on Peacock? It's All Her Fault.
I haven't yet. I keep seeing everybody recommend it, but I got to watch the Diddy thing on Netflix tomorrow night.
I have to watch that too. But I was watching that, and like their kid goes missing, and they're about to do a press conference, and they're trying to get tips from experts on how to make the public like them, so the public helps with their case. And I'm just like, dude, imagine like your kid is missing, and you have to worry about people liking you so they don't.
John Benet Ramsey.
Well, right. And so
that one is a perfect case in point.
So hard. I guess I put myself in that position, like, God forbid, knocking on everything. But I'm just like, what would I do if all of a sudden, people start digging up photos of me partying 3 years ago, and they're like, this bitch doesn't care about her kid. You know what I mean? Doesn't care about this and that. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, I do. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I absolutely get that. It's hard to not jump on a bandwagon. I was just on with Justice Serve TV, and we were talking about the Brian Walsh case, and someone in the chat, I was saying that, gosh, it really looks like he's guilty. And they were saying in the chat, you have to keep an open mind. And I'm like, excuse me. No, I don't.
For Brian Walsh? Sorry, I'll excuse you on that. You don't have to keep an open mind on that.
I'm like, but I don't, because I'm not a juror. And then on top of it, they were like, well, you need to wait for all the evidence to come in. And I'm like, no, see, on my YouTube channel, we just get to pass judgment on these cases. That's what we do. And it's cool. If you're not okay with that, then just don't pop on over to my channel. I'm sorry. But like at some point you have to go, this is really bad. And he's so unlikable.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't like to jump on a bandwagon, but at the same time, if the evidence is there, and the only reason I'm even following Brian Walsh is because of all the Michael Proctor mess, and whether it was going to come in and how it was going to come in. And so that's really where I was coming from on it. I'm loosely filing Miles King for the same reasons, but those would not normally be cases that I would follow, except for this strange Michael Proctor link with all of his very, very icky behavior. And so
normally for me, like Brian Walsh, I don't even know if I would necessarily want to follow that, because no disrespect to Anna or anything like that at all.
Not very intriguing.
Not what I mean. Yeah, it's open and shut. Why am I know this guy's guilty. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen all of the evidence thus far. We've been following this case for years. Come on. Like, so to me, it's not super duper, I hate saying interesting, because it's, her life matters, right? I want justice for her. but you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. That's not what it's about. I mean, I've covered a ton on here with regard to Ellen Greenberg. We are very much about justice being carried out. Raul Valley, I continue to follow things with him because he just was so young when everything happened. It's such a tragic case. But at the same time, I mean, we listened to audio today all day, almost the entire day, of Brian Walsh just acting completely flippant about his wife is missing. It's like 24, 48 hours.
That would bother me. That would bother me too much too. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. No. No.
I totally get it. Well, I do not want to take any more of your time. I know you were eyeballs deep with Luigi today. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart to come on here. I used to think saying thank you. Oh, I'll have you back.
I want to come back when I'm not so fried and like,
yeah. We'll do it again.
Before, like my kids needed homework help. I still have to record a podcast for Los Angeles Mag tomorrow. And I'm like trying to find, I'm like not usually like this. Normally I'm less manic. I feel, well, Dizzy will probably be like, you're a little like this, but like not fully like.
But truly, I appreciate you coming on. I will absolutely have you back. We'll do a nice long one. We'll talk about whatever. Mm-hmm. But I want to say thank you. And I used to say that, thank you seems like it's not enough. But let me tell you, when someone doesn't thank you, you notice it. So thank you now in my life seems like it is sufficient.
You are so lovely and so gracious. So I really appreciate you. And thank you for working with me on my
no, me too.
So.
Well, keep us posted on Luigi because we can't be there. So you need to be the eyes in the courtroom for us.
I know my butt hurts. Those seats are horrible. So
I know. I did Adelson, so I know.
Oh, the worst. But yes, thank you guys so much. It was so nice to be on, and thank you to the chat as well.
Thank you. Have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, sure. Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, guys. We have a new friend. Lauren Conlin is our new friend. We will definitely have her back on here. I got to take a little drink. My camera is doing some crazy stuff. Are y'all ready for some Mark Sanchez business? Because I have some stuff to talk about with the Mark Sanchez case. So we're going to start off with the affidavit for probable cause. And I need to probably add this to the screen so you all know what the heck I'm talking about. So there was an original one that was sent or that they submitted, that they filed, and then they decided that they needed to amend it. And so this is the final amended version. And I'm going to see if I can make it a tiny bit larger for us. That's not the right place for me to be. Let's try this so that my old aged eyes can read what the words say. So is everybody ready? On October 4th, 2025, at 12:35 a.m., IMPD officers were dispatched. That's Indianapolis Metro Police Department. Were dispatched to 301 West Washington Street on a report of a person shot. When officers arrived at the, I don't know how to say this, I think it's Laumiller's Pub and Eatery. That's what I'm going to call it. As located at 301 West Washington Street, they came into contact with a male later identified as Mark Sanchez with several stab wounds to his upper right torso area. A second person was located in the alley west of the location near 50 South Senate Street. The second person, later identified as PT, had a laceration to his left cheek. Medics responded and transported Mr. Sanchez to a hospital I can't pronounce, Eskenazi Hospital, in critical condition. Wow, he was in critical condition. I didn't know that before. And medics responded to the alley at 50 South Senate Street and transported PT to Methodist Hospital. Did I just say Methodist Hospital? Methodist Hospital. Oh, Lord. It's been a Monday of all Mondays. So, an aggravated assault detective was requested to be paged through control by an officer on the scene, and Detective Joshua Staten was paged at 12:54 a.m. Detective Staten spoke to Officer Jay Anderson and was advised where the injured parties were going and coordinated with other aggravated assault detectives for responses accordingly. Detective Edwards responded to Eskenazi Hospital to check on Mr. Sanchez, while Detective Clayton responded to Methodist to check on PT. Detective C. Edwards responded to Eskenazi Hospital and attempted to get a statement from Mr. Sanchez. Detective Edwards asked Mr. Sanchez what happened, and all he could remember was grabbing for a window. Mr. Sanchez said he did not know who did this to him or where it happened. Detective Staten responded to the scene and arrived at 1:10 a.m. Upon arrival, Detective Staten was advised that the two hotels on either side of the alley where the incident occurred had surveillance video of the event. The two hotels located on either side of the alley where the incident occurred were the Westin Hotel and the Indianapolis Marriott downtown. Detective Staten went to the Westin Hotel first to review the video, but the video quality was poor. As Detective Staten was walking to the Marriott to review their video footage, a male sitting in a vehicle parked in the alley just north of the incident location stated he needed to leave. Detective Staten spoke with the male, who was identified as BB. He stated that he was at the location picking up his kid when he saw a larger male wearing a black shirt and another male that was a truck driver interacting with each other. BB at first thought they were friends and did not pay much attention to their interaction, as his vehicle was facing northbound and he was only observing through the side mirror. BB then thought it was odd because he thought the two men were using their cell phones to record each other. BB then said the two men went to the other side of the truck out of his view. Then he noticed that the truck driver tumbled over to the opposite side curb and the male in the black shirt standing over him. BB thought that they might have wrestled or something. Then the male in the black shirt ran northbound in the alley and the truck driver stayed with the truck. BB did not see anything further and said he did not know what was happening, but assumed it was kind of serious because police started to show up. Detective Staten then released BB from the scene. Detective Staten relayed this information about the two parties involved, possibly recording each other based on BB's statement, and Detective Sergeant Gray then applied for and was granted a search warrant to collect Mr. Sanchez's phone and clothes from the hospital. Ruh-roh. The warrant was granted under case number, lots of letters and numbers, and Detective Edwards collected the items, signed a chain of custody voucher. They actually do that here? And transported them back to the aggravated assault office, where Detective Staten later took custody and placed the items in the property room. Detective Staten then reviewed the video from the Indianapolis Marriott downtown and saw a male believed to be Mark Sanchez jogging northbound in the alley from the direction of Maryland Street. Mr. Sanchez runs toward a large box truck that is backed into the loading docks at the Westin Hotel and goes behind the truck and then reappears, still heading northbound. Mr. Sanchez then heads to the West Washington Street and is out of view for a little while. Mr. Sanchez then reappears, heading southbound, and approaches the delivery truck again and goes behind it before reappearing and approaching the driver's door. This is like really like going here, and then I'm going here, and then I'm going here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, now I've lost my spot. Y'all, this day has just got me. Mr. Sanchez then reappears, heading southbound, and approaches the delivery truck again and goes behind it before reappearing and approaching the driver's door. It should be noted at this time that PT is an employee with a company that specializes in commercial cooking oil recycling and disposal. PT was backed into the loading dock area at the Westin performing his assigned duties when he was encountered by Mr. Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez approached the driver's door of the truck and opened the door and began a conversation with PT. Mr. Sanchez and PT stand by the driver's side door for a few minutes, and then PT walks over toward the security office doors of the Marriott. At this time, PT is out of view of the camera, and Mr. Sanchez is seen standing near the front of the truck. Moments later, PT reappears and walks toward the passenger side of the truck. Moments later, PT reappears and walks toward the passenger side of the truck, and Mr. Sanchez follows him. Then PT is seen walking back around to the driver's side, and Mr. Sanchez is right behind him. The two appear to have an interaction at the driver's side door, and then PT walks back toward the front of the truck. Mr. Sanchez is following again, and PT is seen walking backwards away from Mr. Sanchez. PT and Mr. Sanchez are now seen moving around in the front area in front of the truck, and then PT darts toward the driver's door again. Mr. Sanchez is seen running after PT, and the video shows Mr. Sanchez grabbing and throwing PT toward the wall of the Westin. Oh, well, that's not good. It appears that the two men are now fighting between the large metal green dumpster and the truck. The fight continues up against the dumpster, and then as a vehicle is driving southbound in the alley, the two men continue fighting and are now moving out toward the middle of the alley. Mr. Sanchez is then seen throwing PT to the ground on the west side of the alley just as the car passes. PT stands up from the ground, and Mr. Sanchez is standing there for a brief moment before turning and running northbound toward West Washington Street. And don't worry, y'all, I'm going to get a map for you. This is going to make more sense. It's hard to see just these names of these streets, but we're going to look at where it actually happened. And I know, Kelly, I didn't know they recycled cooking oil. Who knew? I didn't know that. We all know now that it's probably going to make the business boom now because they're getting so much attention. Detective Staten took a statement from PT on October 4th, 2025 at the aggravated assault office around 8:00 p.m. PT's statement closely matches the video Detective Staten watched from the Marriott. PT said Mr. Sanchez opened the driver's door and PT exited the truck. Mr. Sanchez and PT had a conversation where Mr. Sanchez told PT that he could not be there at the loading dock and that he, Mr. Sanchez, had spoken to the manager of the hotel. This is like really odd conversation and behavior. It's weird. PT did not have his hearing aids in because his truck is very loud when he is exchanging the frying oil for the hotel. So he had to lean in close to Mr. Sanchez to hear him. When PT leaned in, he stated that Mr. Sanchez smelled of alcohol and his speech was slurred. PT was confused and stated he needed to contact his manager to find out what exactly was going on. PT described Mr. Sanchez, whom he did not recognize, was well-dressed and groomed, so PT assumed he could be the manager of the hotel. Seems reasonable to me. Mr. Sanchez then climbed up into the cab of the truck and leaned over the driver's seat and looked in toward the middle area between the seats. PT told Mr. Sanchez that he was not allowed to be inside of the truck, and Mr. Sanchez came down. Mr. Sanchez kept repeating that he had spoken to a manager, and they did not want PT to do that, replace the fryer oil. Weird. Mr. Sanchez then tried again to get into the truck, and PT stated again that he could not let him in the truck. PT said that he knew at this time that he had a problem. PT tried to get his cell phone from the truck, and Mr. Sanchez blocked him from trying to call his manager. PT then walked around the front of the truck, and Mr. Sanchez followed him but stood near the front of the truck. PT is seen walking westbound off camera to the opposite loading dock area of the Indianapolis Marriott downtown. PT stated that he knew that entry point was the security office for the Marriott, so he was attempting to flag down one of the security officers to help him with Mr. Sanchez. Yo, somebody help me. This loon is bothering me. PT then walked toward the passenger side of the truck, and Mr. Sanchez walked with him. PT attempted to get into the passenger side of the truck, but was blocked by Mr. Sanchez. PT walked back around to the driver's side and again attempted to get his cell phone from inside the cab of the truck. But Mr. Sanchez shoved PT back. PT realized things had escalated and he was now in physical danger. So he reached into his pocket and grabbed his pepper spray and sprayed Mr. Sanchez in the face. Y'all, we got a problem here. You should be backing up if someone's spraying you with pepper spray. What in the world? PT said that the pepper spray appeared to have an effect on Mr. Sanchez for a moment, but Mr. Sanchez wiped his face and again advanced toward PT. PT thought, this guy is trying to kill me. So he pulled his knife, and when Mr. Sanchez came at him, PT went at Mr. Sanchez and struck him 2 or 3 times with the knife. PT said he found himself flying back into the dumpster and falling onto the pallets on the ground. While he was on the ground, PT was not aware of what Mr. Sanchez was physically doing to him, whether he was punching him or otherwise striking him. While PT was on the ground, he could only see the feet of Mr. Sanchez coming at him, making PT realize that he was in a life or death situation. Somehow, PT made it to his feet, and when Mr. Sanchez came at PT stabbed Mr. Sanchez the last time. The next thing PT knew was Mr. Sanchez looked at him with a look of shock. He slowly turned around, and Mr. Sanchez took off northbound in the alley. PT stated that he suffered a severe laceration to the side of his face, penetrating all the way through his left cheek. When asked to rate his pain on a scale of 1 to 10, PT stated it eventually reached a 10. Officer Mark Myers, an evidence technician, processed the scene, taking photos and collecting evidence, which was taken to the property room. A search warrant was applied for the box truck by Detective Sergeant Gray and granted under the case number for the collection of the knife that was located on the driver's seat. Mark Sanchez was placed under arrest for battery, unlawful entry to a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. So that's what the probable cause affidavit says. But y'all, it's about to, we're going to look at the charges next. After I look at the charges, we're going to watch the video. After the video, we're going to look at the location, because y'all know I'm going to show you. If it's in a house, I'm going to show you the house. If it's an address, I'm going to show you the address. So we're going to be doing that. And then after all of that, I will read through the civil complaint that PT has filed against Mark Sanchez. So we're going to learn it all tonight. Let me get the next document pulled up so that you can see the original charges were listed in that amended probable cause affidavit, but they ended up amending those as well. And this is what the new charges, the official charges, I should say. I got to make this big so I can read it. So at the top here, you can see it says State of Indiana versus Mark Sanchez. Count 1 is battery resulting in bodily injury. That is a Class A misdemeanor. Count 2 is unauthorized entry of a motor vehicle. That is a Class B misdemeanor. Count 3 is public intoxication, also a Class B misdemeanor. And then count 4, which is battery resulting in serious bodily injury. That is a level 5 felony. So, count 1 is Mark Sanchez did knowingly touch PT in a rude, insolent, or angry manner by throwing or shoving PT, resulting in bodily injury that is a laceration to PT's face. Pain. Count 2. Mark Sanchez did enter the motor vehicle of PT, to wit, a 2026 Freightliner box truck, knowing that he did not have permission of PT to enter said vehicle, and Mark Sanchez did not have a contractual interest in said vehicle. Count 3. Aren't we all excited to find out what his blood alcohol level is? I know I'm excited for that. I want to know. I also want to see the other videos. I want to see the other videos because we haven't seen, there's a video of the actual incident. Now, I haven't seen that. If somebody has seen it, hit me with the link, baby, because I was not able to find it. Okay, count 3. Mark Sanchez was found at a public place or a place of public resort in a state of intoxication caused by the person's use of alcohol or a controlled substance. Oops. And further, Mark Sanchez endangered his own life or the life of PT, or breached the peace, or harassed, annoyed, or alarmed PT. If you watched my stalking and bullying live stream, we talked about breaching the peace on there as well. Such a great turn of phrase. And then count 4. Mark Sanchez did knowingly touch PT in a rude, insolent, or angry manner by throwing or shoving PT, resulting in serious bodily injury that is extreme pain, all of which is contrary to statute and against the peace and dignity of the state of Indiana. So there are the 4 charges. And I will tell you, this was supposed to go to trial next week. It was, I think, the 11th, December 11th is sticking in my mind. It has now been continued. The continuance was unopposed. The defense is who requested the continuance, and the prosecution didn't oppose there being a continuance. So this is now not going to go to trial until March 12th. There will be pretrial hearings. There is one this week. I will do my best to get the information and try to give you all updates as I can. But this is going to be put on the back burner until March. We got a whole lot of other stuff to cover before we get to Mark Sanchez in March. We've got Barry Morphew. We've got Corey Richens. We've got Courtney Clenny. We have plenty before we get to Mark Sanchez. So I think Iceman cometh. Do you think they continued so they can work out a possible deal? It would not surprise me. The civil complaint is going to take up so much time and energy, and everyone will be deposed anyway. I would look for a plea to happen. I think it would be in Mark Sanchez's best interest for a plea to happen, and then we'll have to wait for the civil trial to find out all the details. All the real tea. I say details. It's really the tea that we're looking for. All righty, let me get us going here with the video of the actual incident. So you may have seen this. This is from TMZ Sports. Here we go, everybody. So this would be, the alleged victim's truck. Now, I want you to also pay attention. The time, it is literally 12:05 in the morning. So I just want to point that out because this time, you're going to see it doesn't take very long for this to go really bad. And now we see it's in the alley. They just flipped the version on me, but this dumpster is what they were referencing in the probable cause affidavit. And yeah, we'll just keep watching. So PT's just doing his job. He's just tooling on down the alley, gonna go back his truck in to get the oil so they can recycle it. And here comes Mark Sanchez. I don't know why he's in the alley. And there's another person in the alley over here. I don't know. What's he looking at? Who's he talking to in the wall? And then look at this dude. He's like, what is going on with this guy? And he's just kind of slowly walking. I mean, does he look like he's coherent to all of you? Because he doesn't to me. Now he's going to come around the corner here. And this is now 12:14. So about 10 minutes has passed. And I do not believe this is the pub that he was walking past. And you all will understand when you see the pictures and the map why I say this is a different business that he's walking in front of. And then he turns the corner. Looks like he's got a little bit of a two left feet kind of walk about him. And he is just hanging out there at the end. You see him in that upper corner there. Still just hanging out. It's now 12:21. And he's still hanging out at the end of that would be the north end of the street. Now he's talking to someone. And this person is like, dude, I want to know who that guy is and what that exchange was. Because he looks concerned. And then now Sanchez takes off running. It's now 12:24. What are you doing, dude? You're like hiding behind the stinking dumpster, almost ran into it. Sir. Then he goes out of the view of this camera and then he comes back. All right, I'm going to back this up here for just a bit because I want you all to see the time. So this is 12:24 and he runs. And 6 minutes later, 12:30 now. So 6 minutes he was down there wrangling around with the poor driver of the cube truck. And now we see that he's not doing well. And you're going to see there's a lot of blood very, very quickly. And now there's a problem for him. And he'll continue down that particular area there to the pub, that Lothmiller's. I don't know how you say it, but that's where the police will end up going to greet him at the pub. Now the police are trying to figure out what the heck, looking for evidence. Look at all those police officers. Holy cannoli, that's a lot of police officers. That's like 10. Still looking. Now they've got all the crime scene tape up, and I'm assuming that is going down to get PT to take him to the hospital, to Methodist Hospital. Because Mark Sanchez is at the pub, which is in a different location. And that is the victim then being taken away. And he was pretty beat up. It did not look good for him at all. And they've already got him bandaged. It looks like his face and that. Sweet niblets, that scared the bejesus out of me. Oh, this Monday has Mondayed hard on me. So now I want to show you what the map looks like of that particular area. Did everybody jump with that? Whew, because I sure did. So I'm going to show you on a map what this looks like, and then we're going to take a little bit different look at it. Okay. So this right here, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Oh, see what happens is then I lose my space. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger for y'all. Okay. So what we're talking about here is, I hope you can see my cursor. This alley right here, where it says Pronta Pizzeria up here, and at the bottom it says Connor's Kitchen and Bar. This is the alley in which all of this took place. And as near as I can tell, it was somewhere in this general area that PT had the cube truck backed up. So you can see this is the Westin Hotel over here. This is Loftmiller's Pub and Eatery up here. And then this is Pronto Pizzeria, which I believe that's what he was walking in front of in those security images that we see. I do not believe those images are from Loftmiller's Pub and Eatery. And then this is the side of the Indianapolis Marriott downtown. So this is to give you a little bit of some bearings on what the scene looks like. So happened somewhere in this general area. Sanchez would have walked up where we saw him hanging out kind of in the street. It was in this area here where he walks on the sidewalk. And the girl talks to him at one point, and then there's a young man that talks to him. That's in this general area here as well. And then he heads back down here, has the 6-minute altercation, and then comes back after being stabbed and ends up going into Loftmiller's. Is that making sense for everybody so far? Are we all traveling on down the Mark Sanchez path? No butt fumbles happening in this particular evening. And if you're not a sports person, I am so sorry, because none of this is making much sense to you, I would say. Let me get that out of here. Now I want to show you what the front of the pizzeria looked like. And you'll understand when I show this. Oh, for heaven's sake, Janet, what did you just do? There we go. You'll understand why I think this is exactly where he was, because it matches what we see in the videos. So near as I could tell, I tried to kind of get things together so that you all could understand what it actually looks like. So here we are with this one. Let me try to see if I can do that. Makes it a little bigger and me teeny tiny. So this is where he was. Oops, you can't see my cursor. Let's try over here. This is where I believe he was walking, is where the sandwich board is. This area here, these look like the right kind of squares that we see in the security camera. So there's evidently some sort of security camera up in this area here, but this is the corner of the building. And so he was just coming around. So it's in front of Pronto Pizzeria. This down here where you see the blue canopy, that is Loft-Miller's Pub and Eatery. So that's a significant way away from significant ways away from the alley itself. So he had traveled I feel like a pretty good distance. So this is where he would have been walking. Now I will show you what the pub looks like that he ended up going to. That way you can see exactly what I'm talking about. For me, you all know I'm visual. I need to know what it looks like, where we're supposed to be and all that jazz. So now we're on the opposite end, looking down toward the alley where the Pronto Pizzeria would be. So this is the establishment that he was actually picked up at to get medical attention. So to me, it looks like the blocks are bigger than what I kind of imagined. I felt like it seemed like it was a smaller amount of space, and this looks a lot larger to me. And maybe that's just me, but that looks like a significant ways down, and I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Are y'all still following? Because I feel like I'm just like talk. Let me check my notes here and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And then this next picture I'm going to show you is kind of across the street to give a better reference on what the scene looked like. And I like a lot of perspectives so that you can see what I'm talking about. So now we're across the street, and this, where the blue canopies are, obviously that's Loft-Miller's Pub and Eatery. And then down from that, where all of these flat glass windows are, that is where, down at the corner is where the Pronto Pizzeria is. And then that, where it changes to the other building that looks like it has stripes on it, the striped building, in between the white building and the striped building is the alley in which all of this altercation and everything took place. And you can see in this picture here, that's the front of the pizzeria. Looks very similar to what we saw in the security images in the video. Okay. Now we know exactly what it looks like, where it all happened. I'm going to have to take a big old drink, hydrate myself, because we're going to go to the civil complaint now. Okay. I do believe the civil complaint was recently changed in that they have added defendants. So I put all of this together over on the weekend on Sunday, and I feel like that I may have missed that. So I apologize if there is more updated information. I did not necessarily have it when I put this all together. but we're at least going to get you in the ballpark here of what the heck this civil complaint shows. Okay. Yeah, Kelly, it is almost like CF McCarthy's and Waterfall adding them, but I think they added this one here that I have does include Fox Corporation. I don't know if that's what they were referring to, but I don't know who served him, and maybe that's what was added. I haven't seen the updated documents. But for our purposes, to me, it wasn't critically important. What the complaint actually says to me is probably more important. But I do wonder if possibly whoever overserved him is who has been added to this civil complaint. Okay. Perry Tole, plaintiff versus Mark Sanchez and Fox Corporation. Complaint for damages and jury trial demand. Comes now the plaintiff, Perry Tole, by counsel Eric J. May of Galitko and Daily PC, and for his complaint for damages and jury trial demand against the defendants Mark Sanchez and Fox Corporation, and states as follows. Jurisdiction. This court has jurisdiction over this matter pursuant to the laws of the state of Indiana, as the events giving rise to this complaint occurred in Indianapolis, Marion County, Indiana. Parties. Plaintiff Perry Tole is an individual residing in the state of Indiana who was the victim of the action described herein. Defendant Mark Sanchez, hereinafter referred to as Sanchez, is an individual who, upon information and belief, resides in the state of California and was involved in the incident described herein. Defendant Fox Corporation is a foreign corporation that, upon information and belief, is incorporated in the state of Delaware and is the employer of defendant Sanchez. And Kelly, I don't see Fox taking that kind of liability in this day and age, but I could be wrong. I could totally see it in the 70s to 90s. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. That's why I've been following it. I know that most of my followers, subscribers are women. And so this may not be intriguing, but this case is fascinating to me because it fell so quickly on the heels of Raoul Valley and us talking about that. Oh, Carby Barbie, thank you so much. Just watched you on Justice Served. What a gift you are. Still so thankful for that anti-Deb misdemeanor mix-up back during the Karen Reed trial. It actually was during Donna Adelson. But yes, we had that little mix-up. I am not Jimmy. I am not anti-Deb by any stretch of the imagination. And yes, serving alcohol at work events. Yes, they do employ him. So there's that. Yeah, that's what I think the issue is. I had a friend over here, and that is the debate that we've had about this particular case is, well, it's not their responsibility. And I said, I'm sorry. If I am out of town for a business that employs me and I misbehave in some way, my employer can be held responsible because I've signed a code of conduct. And that code of conduct states I will behave in a certain way that is not going to be unbecoming to my employer. And so, and most everybody has to sign one of those in this day and age. So gets dicey then. So then, yeah, you've got Fox Corporation on the hook for Mark Sanchez's behavior. All right. Factual allegations. Defendant Sanchez is an employee of the defendant Fox Corporation. Defendant Sanchez traveled to the state of Indiana as part of his employment duties for the defendant, Fox Corporation, and the television broadcast of the NFL football game involving the Indianapolis Colts and Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday, October 5th, 2025. All times relevant, plaintiff Perry Tole was performing his duties as an employee of a company specializing in commercial cooking oil recycling and disposal at the loading dock area of the Westin Hotel when he was approached by defendant Sanchez. Defendant Sanchez, appearing intoxicated, instigated an altercation with plaintiff Perry Tole, claiming that plaintiff Perry Tole could not be at the location and that defendant Sanchez had spoken to the whole hotel manager. During the interaction, defendant Sanchez attempted to enter and later entered plaintiff Perry Tole's work truck without permission and blocked plaintiff Perry Tole from accessing his cell phone to contact his manager. Yeah, you can't go in somebody's vehicle, their property. You can't do that. The situation escalated when defendant Sanchez physically blocked and shoved plaintiff Perry Tole, leading plaintiff Perry Tole to use pepper spray in self-defense. Despite the use of pepper spray, defendant Sanchez continued to advance toward plaintiff Perry Tole, resulting in a physical altercation, which resulted in plaintiff Perry Tole suffering significant injuries to his head, jaw, and neck. Yeah, he was messed up. Poor guy. On October 5th, 2024, at approximately 12:35 a.m., officers from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department were dispatched to 301 West Washington Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Upon arrival, officers found plaintiff Perry Tole bleeding profusely and severely injured. I'm curious to know, I'm guessing he was just punching him that many times on the face, and I'm curious. I want to know more about the injuries because he clearly didn't have a weapon other than his hands, his fists. So I want to know because I need to know the tea. Defendant Sanchez was subsequently arrested for battery, unlawful entry to a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. Claims. Count 1, assault and battery. Plaintiff Perry Tole incorporates by reference the allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 14 as if fully set forth herein. Defendant Sanchez intentionally and unlawfully made harmful and offensive contact with plaintiff Perry Tole, causing serious bodily injury. Defendant Sanchez's actions constitute malicious, willful, wanton, or grossly negligent conduct. Those are bad ones. As a direct and proximate result of defendant Sanchez's actions, plaintiff Perry Tole suffered severe permanent disfigurement, loss of function, other physical injuries, emotional distress, and other damages. I can tell you, this is the part, the loss of function, disfigurement, physical injuries. That's the problem. As someone who has sat on a mock jury for a civil case, a civil personal injury case like this, that's what is important. That's what gets all the money. Mark Sanchez is going to pay a lot of money. Count 2, negligent hiring, retention, and supervision. Plaintiff Perry Tole incorporates by reference the allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 18 as if full set forth herein. Defendant Fox Corporation owed a duty of care to plaintiff Perry Tole to ensure that its employees conduct themselves in a reasonable manner. Defendant Fox Corporation knew or should have known about defendant Sanchez's unfitness as an employee, propensity for drinking, and or harmful conduct. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a second because I am wondering, based on this particular statement here and this particular statement alone, if there is something in the employment record of Mark Sanchez that is going to reveal itself and show that Fox Corporation had knowledge of any sort of substance abuse issues or prior bad acts that Mr. Sanchez has committed in the past, and that they did not know. I shouldn't say they didn't know. They did not take action, did not take appropriate action. And exactly, Kelly, what does Fox know about Mark? That's what that one singular statement in there is leading me to believe there's something else. And Ava, that's reaching. I totally understand that. If it turns out that Fox Corporation knew, they did have a responsibility, because they should have known that he needed to have supervision. He needed to have something. If there was knowledge that this could possibly happen, if there is any other type of incident that has happened, because we don't know. We haven't heard anything. They would have kept that all very, very hush hush. You all know. That would be really bad press for Fox if that came out. So I can't wait to see how that unfolds. Despite this knowledge, or the availability of this knowledge, defendant Fox Corporation hired defendant Sanchez as an employee, retained defendant Sanchez as an employee, and or failed to supervise defendant Sanchez in his capacity as an employee of defendant Fox Corporation. Defendant Fox Corporation breached its duty of care, plaintiff Perry Tole, as set forth above. As a direct and proximate result of defendant Fox Corporation's negligent hiring, retention, and or failure to supervise its employee, defendant Sanchez, plaintiff Perry Tole suffered severe permanent disfigurement, loss of function, other physical injuries, emotional distress, and other damages. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiff Perry Tole by counsel respectfully requests that this court enter judgment in his favor and against defendants Sanchez and Fox Corporation and award the following relief: compensatory damages in an amount to be determined at trial. And see, I don't know how civil cases work in Indiana, how that's awarded, if they bring a dollar amount or if it's just the jury decides. Punitive damages in an amount to be determined at trial. Costs and expenses of this action, including reasonable attorney's fees. Any other relief that the court deems just and proper. And then it is signed, of course, respectfully submitted by plaintiff's attorney. So there you have it, everybody. I have a lot of questions about Fox being involved in this, and I think that it would not be out of the realm of possibility that wherever Mark Sanchez was that evening, consuming alcohol is also going to be an issue. And it could be at issue. They may end up being a defendant if they aren't already. We, of course, all know what's gone on with the Karen Reed and the Waterfall and CF McCarthy's and all of that. So it does make me wonder what we don't know. I have a suspicion there may be more. I don't know positively, but I don't know why that attention would be called unless there was some issue. Now, if there isn't, it's a complete reach. Well, thank you, Ava. I think it sounds interesting just because we do have a civil case already that has been filed, and we don't know what's going to happen on the criminal side. And yes, the other part, you're absolutely right, Kelly. I wonder if this speaks to his football injuries and concussions. That's the other part of it too. Are we going to have some sort of CTE type of evidence that would lend some credence to why he behaved the way he did? But if that's the case, then that definitely puts more onus on Fox Corporation. And that may be what a lot of this is wrapped up in. I don't know. I'm just a middle-aged lady running a YouTube channel, hanging out with some people. We're all jurors trying to figure it out. So I'm anxious to see how this is going to play out. I'm curious what the backstory is. So today, yes, I was on Justice Served TV earlier this evening because I did watch the Brian Walsh trial today. It was excruciating to listen to all the audio. I have a lot of questions about this case. I know you all heard me say earlier that someone in the chat was upset that I was already drawing a judgment and a conclusion. And I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have to remain impartial. I really don't. I'm not sitting on a jury. We're sitting on the misdemeanor jury. Oh my goodness, my nose is itching, something awful. And we get to make the rules. My rules say, hey, we know a lot of the stuff that's going to come in. He's already agreed to disinterring her and lying. So, I mean, is it really that much of a stretch? I don't think it's a stretch. So I'll continue to follow that. My plan for Wine and Crime Wednesday is to cover the Sarah Grace Patrick case. Now, depending on if crazy things pop off in Brian Walsh, I will continue to plan on doing Sarah Grace Patrick. If you do not know, yes, I am a Karen. As a former truck driver, I am very interested in this case. Having been in a lot of questionable situations, this was one of my biggest fears. Yeah. I mean, how do you defend yourself in a situation like this when someone's coming at you with fists? And I think that, Mr. Tole, isn't that what is Mr. Tole? Or it might be Tole, actually. What is his name? No, it's Perry Tole. Imagine how terrifying that is. Just wanting to do your job and some crazy person comes up and is trying to tell you what to do and you don't know if they're in charge or not. That's super scary. Sarah Grace Patrick. I don't know if y'all know what this case is. Sarah Grace, words are so hard for me today. Sarah Grace Patrick is the young lady whose parents, I think it was a father and stepmother or mother and stepfather. I'm not sure what it is. I haven't dug all the way into it yet. That's what we're going to do on Wednesday. And she lost her parents. Someone came into the home and red-rummed them. And she then went on TikTok and garnered a bunch of sympathy and support from a lot of people. She reached out, y'all are going to love this. She reached out to a true crime YouTube channel, content creator, to try to get more attention. And ultimately, what ended up happening is that she was arrested for their deaths. So that hasn't been given any sort of trial date yet that I have seen. I'm sure it's coming. There's a hearing. Let me check my list because I feel like there's a hearing that is coming up. Let me consult my list. January 5th, there will be a preliminary hearing in that case. I'm sure at that time we'll get more information about if there's going to be another preliminary hearing or if they're setting a trial date. We may know that then. So you all know, or should know, when I send the schedule out on Sundays, there's only so much space that I can fit. So I can give you all a rundown of what is coming up beyond what I was able to fit on there. So we have Mark Sanchez has a hearing tomorrow. Miles King has a hearing on Thursday. Courtney Clenny has a hearing on Friday. Aiden Carney has a hearing on Friday. Kelsey Fitzsimmons has a hearing on the 19th. Antonio Brown on the 22nd. And of course, Zach Adams is going back to Judge Bradbury for his post-conviction relief hearing that will continue on the 29th. Then Sarah Grace Patrick has a hearing on January 5th. Raul Valley will be back in court on the 6th. There is an admissibility hearing in the Corey Richins case on January 7th. And depending on what happens the end of December with Zach Adams, he may or may not be back in court on January 8th and 9th. Barry Morphew on the 12th. Brad Simpson on the 20th. Kate Peter on the 26th. And jury selection starts in the Corey Richins case on February 2nd. And then there's scheduled to be another hearing for Aiden Carney on February 5th. I am loosely following the Kate Peter and Aiden Carney cases. I'll be honest with you all. I don't do drama, and there is a heaping load of it in Massachusetts and as of late, and I don't participate in that. I don't want it around me. I don't want to discuss it. And so those may, depending on the behavior that I see, they may drop off the docket. They may drop off the misdemeanor docket because I, as you all know, don't like to give energy to ugly. And so if everybody can start to mind their P's and Q's, then maybe I'll give it some energy and attention. We'll see what the next couple weeks bring us, but that may fall off because I am not interested. And if you all are, there's plenty of information out there and plenty of people to talk about everything and share their receipts and all of it. I want no part of it. We cover cases, like real stuff happening, real content, real trials. And so we're not going there is what I'm trying to say. So, and of course, my camera's going wiggy woggy. And of course, don't forget Friday we start Holly Bobo, the actual case in 2017 that got Zach Adams convicted and in prison like he is right now. 6:00 Central Time on Friday is when I will start that particular replay. I will be replaying it at a faster speed, but you will be able to get all of the information, all the testimony. They're Tennessee people, man. They talk real slow in Tennessee. So we got to speed it up a little bit. And yes, Kelly, the court cases are interesting. The outside of court drama, pass. Yeah, we're not going to do that here. So if that's what you're coming in for, you probably need to find somebody else to get your content from, because that ain't me. So yes. So I'll start on Friday night. I'll do 3 hours on Friday night. I will start again Saturday morning at 8:00 a.m. I'll go until 5:00 p.m. on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'll do 8:00 a.m. to 5:00 p.m. on Sunday. And then on Monday, we'll be back at 6:00 for 3 hours every night that week. And I don't know how it's going to unfold, if we'll have a full day Saturday and a full day Sunday of the following week, or if it's going to be partial. It's just going to depend on how much time it takes. It'll be somewhere around there. So that is the plan. That's what we have on. I'll have tomorrow night off, and I will be doing Wine and Crime Wednesday. I have real life stuff on Thursday. We'll be streaming on Friday. And on Saturday, I will have to get off of here at 5 o'clock because I have real life stuff on Saturday evening as well. Misdemeanor's got a busy schedule, y'all. You just don't understand. So, anybody have any questions about anything? Put them in the chat. Let me know. Or if you're on replay, stick them in the comments. I'm happy to respond and answer. Make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed and followed, I'm also on TikTok. Do not hesitate to follow me there. I do quick little updates in the morning every single day on TikTok. And of course, I am on the Twix X, as you all know. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. It has been my pleasure this evening. We will have Lauren Conlin back another time where we can talk about all the things. And especially now that I know she has a podcast on the Grant Solomon case, I am absolutely going to have to listen to all of that. And you all that ever watched that live stream that I did on that, you should probably check out her podcast too. She thinks it's probably not very good content or whatever. We love Lauren. It'll be great. It'll be fine. So yes, thank you. Yes, I am Karen. I just want to say you're awesome. Found you on Justice Served. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm happy that you found me too. So last I checked, I needed like 8 subscribers to get to 1,200. So it'd be grand if y'all, if you haven't subscribed, to go ahead and do that. Remember to put notifications on. So when I go live, you'll know and you can hop on here. I also put notifications on Twitter, X, Twix. And as soon as I can figure out Discord, I will try to get a notification sent there as well. So as always, it doesn't cost a penny to be kind. So find someone to do something nice for today, if you haven't already. And remember,